Kaido versus Madara is closer than you think. Now, while I was rewatching Naruto, I realized the fact that it ain't that close. And why I say it ain't that close is because a few things changed with my mindset. I've learned a few more things, and I've digressed on some other opinions. And I want to give my opinion while the video is starting. So I'm not going to say it right now, but I'm going to say it while the video is ongoing. With that being said, let me know who you guys think wins this. Do you guys even think it's close? Let's check it out. And also, I'm going to say this real quick. El Eon can be a little bit biased. Let's be for real. That's all I'm going to say. He can be a little bit biased. But let's check it out. Okay. Before we begin with this video, I want to make a couple things very, very clear. This fight is extremely complex if you're looking for one perspectives. Trying to give the most fair interpretation of both characters while at the same time inputting different pieces of information that may or may not be coming depending on how you choose to interpret the characters. Wildly, I can't see. I'm like dyslexic. Wildly changing the outcomes of this fight, depending on the outcome, therefore becomes difficult. Okay, so number one, El Eon, yo, you could have said this yourself. All right, you could even use AI. I have a stigmatism in my both my eyes, so it makes it very difficult for me to see. I gotta like squint. I gotta have like a tear inside of it too, so it's like lubricated, so I can see it better. Bro, you said more? Oh my goodness! Throughout my research, I came across the calculation. I don't know. Wait, I came across some calculations that I won't be applying in the final result. However, I'll be happy to do these calculations and change it. I don't know, like, yeah, I don't like calculations either. I mean, calcs are bad. I'm not gonna lie. If you gotta resort to calculations to link your character, you're cooked. I'm saying, I sometimes assistance. Okay, I'm like, yeah, sure. If you gotta start pulling out the calculator and start doing crazy math just to make them stronger, that's insane. You need to go outside. Dang, bro, yo, you typed 2 paragraphs and you instant. Okay, okay. Uh, Pixel measurements. Oh boy, you know what he's about to do with pixel measurements? He's about to say, oh, with pixel measurements, pixel measurements are impossible to do because what was I about to say? Pixel measurements are impossible because perspectives change like constantly, and manga artists, they don't always draw perspective. Most time they don't. Also for this, people say characters can't be light speed. Bro, what? It's fiction. Uh, okay. Wait, he says. Wait. You see that? As for the calcs, they can be considered headcanon. Facts. If you use a calculator, that's straight headcanon because there is no. Oh my goodness, bro! Just start the video, bro. Oh my goodness, I gotta read all this. They will be in character. Okay, so it's not like a controller like setup. Oh, which means I consider the base. Okay, base the fight. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's fair. But there's like accurate way to say how they use something like that. Um, the moves they have displayed. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I got nothing against that. I got nothing against it. Even though like the whole like, I think the modern one would be a little different though because he didn't get a chance to use anything because of like the whole Kage situation. But I digress. You put control. Hey, that's what I said. Controller. Yeah, that's fair. Find a character. Yeah, that's fair. Well, limbo clones they can. Okay. Okay, I see. All right, bro. I understand what he's
The
saying.
ghost.
I understand what he's saying. He's saying that like if you were to just straight up just plug in control to Madara, he'd win. That's pretty much what he just said. Cause I ain't reading all that. Okay, let's
Of the
continue.
UCHIHA. Two titanic villains that have been hyped up both on their own worlds, be it by sheer reputation for their overwhelming power or the fear that their strength has produced. Today, we're gonna find out which of these two comes out on top.
Right.
There isn't a lot I could say about Madara Uchiha that hasn't already been said. Since this is the first time I'll be talking about him in a video, I will go over some of the things that make him an absolute monster.
Right.
Before the inclusion of Six Paths characters like the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, Six Paths, Naruto, and Sasuke,
Right.
Agoromo, and Kaguya, Madara is without a doubt one of the top tier ninjas of the verse. He
Facts.
single-handedly took out the entirety of a platoon which included a clone of Naruto and 2 Kage. He fought the 5 Kage for multiple hours,
five
and while
broads.
using his full power, the perfect Susanoo, he absolutely no-diffed them. He fought the likes of Hashirama Senju to the death, KCM2 Naruto, the 9-tailed beasts, 8 Gates Might Guy,
Deaf.
and 6 Paths Naruto and Sasuke.
No, he wasn't deaf. He was blind. He literally had no eyes. He wasn't deaf. He was blind.
There are at least 3 different versions of Madara that I feel are fair matchups for Kaido. EMS Madara, One-Eyed Sage Mode Madara, and 10 Tails Jinchuriki Madara.
Okay.
I'll be going over any relevant feats or information for each part of the fight since Madara's toolkit drastically changes with each version. I will be including Edo Tensei feats since it was stated by Hashirama that Madara was regaining his past strength after he got revived. So even with the Rinnegan and Wood style, it's still implied that Madara is weaker while reanimated.
Yeah,
I
that's
will
facts.
not be using
That's like
any
every
Edo
version.
version because Kaido has no way of sealing him away.
Right.
Unlike Kaido, there are multiple versions of him that can be used for this fight, while Kaido only really has one version that has quantifiable feats as of now. I have also already talked about Kaido extensively in my last video, but there is some information that I skipped over since
I think I've seen this one actually. I think it was around like start of the year.
I didn't think it would be necessary, so when the time comes, I will bring it up. The fights will take place in one of those wastelands from Dragon Ball, daytime. The power systems will not be equalized, so with all of that out of the way, let's begin. I am just going to start this off by saying EMS Madara gets absolutely stomped. I genuinely could not think up of a single thing that EMS Madara could do to take down Kaido, let alone hurt him.
Okay. That enough was a crazy statement. He said nothing could hurt him. Nah, I don't think he would win. Don't get that wrong. But to say nothing will hurt him is crazy. I mean, he has planetary AEP. And I mean, okay, let's continue.
As I mentioned in my previous video, the most important thing in any fight is the win condition. Without it, there is no way you can win a fight. EMS Madara does not have any jutsu, at least that I am aware of, that can pierce Kaido's scales or do enough damage to bring him down. This is...
You don't think his perfect Susanoo could hurt Kaido? I mean, I could be wrong, but him just unsheathing his sword wiped out a mountain range. I could be wrong, but that definitely happened. I mean, like, let's be for real. His blast breath took out one mountaintop. That's it. Brother, what? Okay, he put all his jutsus here. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot he had the fan. I completely forgot about this whole thing right here.
This is a list of the jutsu that Madara has used on screen and in the manga that he could perform in his EMS version. He doesn't have Hashirama cells, he doesn't have the Rinnegan, none of these jutsu have the attack potency to take down Kaido, let alone hurt him.
His jutsu? Bro, what? He literally has he has the Nine Tails in his arsenal. The Nine Tails literally put. Wait, hold up. That version of Madara has the Nine Tails in his arsenal, and with the Nine Tails, he uses it, and he puts his perfect Susanoo around it. And his perfect Susanoo is a lot stronger because he has an EMS Sharingan. What? What kind of cap is that? Okay.
As a reminder, because Kaido ate the fish fruit, mythical Zoan model Azure Dragon, Kaido's skin became covered in scales that increased his durability to unparalleled levels. He doesn't really take damage from conventional.
Wait, whoa! If Zoro can cut him, you don't think Madara can't? Yo, this is just bias. Oh my goodness.
Attacks or techniques. The amount of force that is required to hurt him, let alone go through his skin even in base, is ridiculous, nearly to the point where Eustace Kid was surprised to find out that he could even be hurt by physical blows. The best method to hurt Kaido is to either bypass his dragon scales by using an attack that ignores durability, or using advanced armament / advanced conqueror's haki, which also bypasses durability. You basically have to destroy him from the inside out or hit him with an attack that has higher AP than his scales. Madara has neither.
Whoa. You just said Madara doesn't? I've heard it all. You just said Madara doesn't have the AP higher than his durability? What do you think his durability is? Like star level? Bro, what? What kind of cap is that? There's like 5 people in One Piece that's even planetary. What you mean?
There is no way to quantify his fire style jutsu, let alone the temperature.
The jutsu scales to his AP. I mean, that's just common sense. Brother, what?
To be as powerful as Kaido's blast breath.
I hope he knows that he literally has a contract seal with the Nine Tails. And the Nine Tails can do something that's even on a larger scale than that. So I don't know what this. Okay.
Madara told the Kage when they attempted to seal him with their combination jutsu that he would respond in kind with his full power, being the perfect Susanoo. Releasing the sword itself had enough power to slice 2 mountaintops from a distance. A drunk Kaido casually fired a blast breath at a mountain and blew both it and a castle away from a large distance. That means Kaido's blast breath and Madara's Susanoo's sword swings should be at least comparable. Kaido himself tanked his own blast breath after having it get sent back to him by Gear 5 Luffy. Comedic effects aside, he also immediately shrugged it off with 0 residual damage. We also know that it's possible to force the user out of the Susanoo with.
You're telling me unsheathing a sword is the same thing as swinging your sword as hard as you can? Make that make sense. You're telling me doing this is the same as. Oh! No! Bro! Come on now.
Brute strength alone, as Jigen did to adult Sasuke, and Kaido has a habit of going for the head. Even if you could argue that Kaido somehow doesn't have the striking power to force Madara out of his perfect Susanoo by attacking the head, he should be able to inject his haki through the headpiece with advanced armament haki and still cause damage. None of Madara's fire-style jutsu come even remotely close.
Wait, what? Person... Huh? None of his fire-style jutsu have also shown anything close to levels AP or DC. Brother, you're... Bro, your attack potency, why would it change from your jutsu? That doesn't even make sense. That literally makes no sense. What?
To this level of devastating power. He does have shadow clones, but he never...
And even like a basic fireball vaporizes like stone. You've seen that from Kid Sasuke. Not vaporize, disintegrate stone. Literally, a child Sasuke's fireball disintegrated the ground. That speaks for itself. Bro, what? What the hell is he trying to do? Izanagi?
Never displayed the ability to use Susanoo with his shadow clones, only with wood clones. Even then, he has never shown the capability to be able to create shadow clones that can use perfect Susanoo. Or else, why wouldn't he have just used it against Hashirama in their battle to the death? He can't really use Genjutsu on Kaido because Kaido doesn't have chakra.
That's fair.
Genjutsu works by altering the flow of chakra within a target to mess with their 5 senses. Kaido does not have chakra, therefore it should not work. Madara should be sub-relativistic. He can keep up with the Raikage going at full speed and with Inoki on his back, however they seem to be capable of landing plenty of hits on him, and A was never hard blitzed by Madara. Madara hit him and Inoki in the air with the other Kage, which isn't really a hard blitz since the Raikage doesn't have air mobility, so that falls more on Inoki, and when Madara catches him in a Genjutsu, he was distracted by Tsunade. Madara never hard dodges the Raikage, so while he does scale to a relative speed tier, he never outright dodges or hard blitzes A while he uses
In terms of movement speed? Okay.
top speed. There is a feat of Madara blocking KCM2 Naruto's Tailed Beast Rasengan. KCM Naruto blitzed the Raikage's top speed punch at point blank range. However, there really isn't a multiplier for how much faster KCM2
That's like a
is,
thing with Naruto, right? I wish they, like, Kishimoto had, like, direct, like, numbers, but that shit does not exist. Only numbers there is like for Curse Mark and Sage Mode. And those are 10 times multipliers. Everything else is, like, you can't quantify how much. Like, you literally can't. So, like, if people have, like, numbers for them, that's literally a pure headcanon. Because there's no way to, like, genuinely say how much stronger. You can only tell by what the hell you're looking at. Or, like, on the screen or whatever. That's, like...
And even then, this is at best a reaction-based feat and not a combat/movement speed feat.
Huh? I make no. So if you can react to it, that means you should be able to fight on that level then. What?
Since the rest of their clash revolved around Madara using the Wooden Dragon Jutsu before the 10 Tails awakened. Hashirama also doesn't have any light speed feats, and he was the closest rival to Madara and on average considered stronger, so EMS Madara should be much slower than Kaido. One more thing I want to add is that Edo Tensei does weaken the reanimated ninja by an unquantifiable amount. While some ninja like Minato, Itachi, and Sarutobi were stronger...
Well, I was thinking about this. Well, in reality, Hashirama is comparable to a KCM2 Naruto, and he literally said himself, he said, oh, he almost has as much chakra as I do. And for those that help watch Naruto, borderline, well, it's actually kind of facts. The amount of chakra you have is pretty much how strong you are, and your chakra affects your stats. And that's literally how it is. Even if you disagree with me, literally look it up, look at the scan stuff. I mean, it's literally pure facts. And if I think somebody subbed or whatever, I can't see it because I have one monitor at the time. But I appreciate you and thank you very much. But yeah. So he has no speed feats direct. Wait, what the? He literally fought Edo Madara. I mean, reanimated Madara. As an Edo. I mean, you just scale for that. Like, there's no, like... Wait. Okay, yo. Wait, that's just blatantly wrong. He literally fought a live Madara when he was alive. And if you see what he did when he was alive in the Fourth Ninja War, then you can see what he was doing back in the day. I mean, just put two and two together. What the heck? That's not about that.
Edo Tensei then when they were alive, it's not possible to quantify how much slower the Edo Tensei are than when they were alive. His physical body should be capable of withstanding at least island level attacks, scaling off of ace.
Did bro just say island level attack? Hell nah. No, there's no way he just said island level attack. Maybe I heard this wrong. Wait, this is gonna be like 2 hours long. I'm sorry. I gotta dissect every single thing. Because I'm defending my glorious Kishimoto.
Possible to quantify how much slower the Edo Tensei are than when they were alive. His physical body should be capable of withstanding at least island-level attacks, scaling off of ace punches when he got blitzed early into their fight. He also would have gotten one-shot by Tsunade's punch if he wasn't an Edo Tensei, since it blew half of his body apart. For reference, even Tsunade's punches can't hurt Kaido because of his dragon scales.
Yeah.
Kaido's striking power should be higher, and he can also cause internal...
Constantine plus possibly Moon. Okay. Okay. So how is he above Madara any way possible? It literally says multi-continental, possibly Moon. That speaks for itself. I mean, like, I don't gotta watch more of this. That literally speaks for itself.
Damage to Madara off of one hit, which Madara has no way of healing without Izanagi. If he uses Izanagi at that point, he most likely loses because he would lose sight in one of his eyes. Catching Kaido off guard also shouldn't be possible since he is slower, and Kaido should at least have Observation Haki active. Observation Haki and Future Sight can be turned on and off separately, and I don't believe Kaido fights without at least having Observation Haki active. For reference, Observation Haki grants access to a kind of extrasensory perception that can allow the user to sense presence, strength, emotion, and intention. With it,
I mean, that doesn't matter. I mean, that's literally the same thing they have in Naruto. I mean, this dude Madara beat up everybody when he was blind. Like, what's that supposed to mean?
You can perceive enemies who lurk hidden out of sight, grasp their numbers, and even what they are attempting to do next.
Bro, basic sensory ninja Naruto can do that. Even the Yamanaka clan can do that. Bro, what? That's not even like anything special.
In other words, Kaido can sense a person's aura and know if they are camouflaging, hiding behind buildings or objects. He can also sense their intent to act in the immediate future, and it allows him to predict what they are about to do. In other
You know what's crazy? Naruto literally has that same exact thing. Like bar for bar, not like future side, don't get me wrong. He can't like look into the future. But he has like a danger sense. So it's like precog, like it's literally this, what he just says exactly what Naruto has.
In other words, it's a pseudo precognition. I know that the Sharingan does technically grant a pseudo precognition as well with its kinetic vision, but Madara has been consistently tagged by characters of a similar speed tier, so I don't think it would make much of a difference. I know some may say that Madara wouldn't lose very quickly, and the fight would go on for a while, but I disagree. Madara fought Hashirama for approximately 24 hours, give or take, and Kaido fought Big Mom for about 3 days. Madara's fight was against an opponent of similar speed and strength like Kaido and Big Mom, who he had fought against for years and probably knew better than anyone else. Eventually...
Wait a second, I just thought about this. Wait, no, this stuff is wrong. So he missed on a few details that like kind of makes this all irrelevant. Edo Hashirama was able to hold down a Ten Tails. And I mean like completely pin down the Ten Tails. And then on top of that, his gates.
Read the chat, Daddy Peg. Also, Kaido slams TBH money mouth face money mouth face money mouth face money mouth face money mouth face.
Bro, okay. Yo, that is insane. But I just want to say this, right? Okay. Okay. Yo, Money Mouth Pig is insane. Okay, Edo Hashirama, his wood gates were able to hold on to Ten Tails, right? And those directly scaled to his own AP. And those same gates, when they were able to tank tailed beast bombs from the Ten Tails. And the Ten Tails has a planetary AP. It's literally a planetary being. So literally, an Edo Hashirama Okay, that's glazing. I'm not gonna lie. That's glazing. I'm gonna stop. That's glazing. But
Madara is
you know
going
what I
to
mean.
run out of chakra, while Kaido can
It did
keep using
take
his
it. I'm being
double
honest.
abilities
He
without
literally
much
tanked
limit.
it.
It is possible to run out of haki
The
after
gates
using
didn't break. It got hit with a tail beast bomb from the Ten Tails, and it didn't break. I mean, that's literally. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And then Madara is stronger than that Hashram. So,
for longer fights.
Yeah.
Kaido seems to be the exception, at least when he gets drunk, because his haki was getting stronger as his fight with Luffy dragged out, but I don't think this version of Madara would push him to that point. He's not fast enough to stop Kaido from hitting him, and he doesn't have any attacks that can bypass Kaido's scales. I can't think of a way that he can realistically win. Moving on to round 2, things become more interesting with One-Eyed Sage Madara, which I will be referring to as OS Madara. He gains Hashirama cells to regenerate his body, Hashirama's Sage Mode, Wood-style Jutsu.
I wish video games had this Madara that you could play as. If Storm Connections had this Madara, I'd still be playing it right now. But I played that game for about 4 days and stopped.
And the Rinnegan, including all 6 Paths of Pain and Limbo. This is probably the most powerful version of Madara before he absorbs the Ten Tails and gains the following jutsu. Hashirama said Madara was regaining his past strength after he was revived by Obito. Madara did absorb Sage Mode from Hashirama before this statement. Sasuke was able to pierce through Madara's skin relatively easily with a sword when he stabbed him through his arm.
Okay, don't say relatively easy, like you're downplaying Sasuke. Let's not do that. And also, Madara likes to flex as well. You gotta put that into account.
Implying that even with the addition of Sage Mode, Madara's body can still be hurt by Kaido. Later on, his movements...
Bro, what kind of dumb logic is that? Do you not know that your weapon strength scales to your AP? I mean, it's not hard like a concept to grasp. Bro, what?
Were stopped by Gaara, and he was knocked around by the tailed beasts. The combination of physical blows had Madara visibly bleeding from his mouth and body. He was capable of breaking through Gaara and the Shukaku's Grand Sand Mausoleum with a full-body Susanoo, but was hard blitzed by KCM2 Kurama Avatar Naruto. The tailed beast Tail Slam also destroyed his Susanoo and completely ripped off an arm. Madara gets away even more injured. He also recognized during his monologue that he was in pain.
Did bro just lick his blood? Hey dog, what kind of freak stuff is that?
Albeit he didn't show any signs of physical pain, which alludes to a high pain tolerance. He uses Limbo against the tailed beast, knocking all of them away and downing them long enough to enchain them with the Ghetto Mazo. Limbo has enough strength to knock down half of Kurama and Gyuki, which are perfect Jinchuriki. Granted, this attack can be considered an off-guard moment since none of them could have braced themselves for it or could have expected it. One thing I...
What did he say? Yeah, let's say, and literally in Naruto, if you're off-guarded, like you're not prepped for that, that durability is on a solid 0. I'll be so for real. But also at the same time, like, I semi take that back, but it's not wrong, because like show right here, he was off guard, he didn't know, but at the same time, Shin is also really powerful, so it plays like both, like 2 hands of the coin of the same side, but. Yeah.
Off-guard moments since none of them could have braced themselves for it or could have expected it.
But nobody knew.
One thing I also want to add is that Madara would most likely not use Izanagi while in this version because it could mean he loses his Rinnegan, as a result thereby most likely losing Limbo as well. I do think he will be able to catch Kaido off guard with the Limbo clone, since it's stated in a databook that anyone connected to the real world can't sense its presence. Kaido shouldn't be capable of sensing the Limbo clone even with observation haki, and the clone should be immune to any damage and have equal abilities to Madara. However, it will have to return to him after a time frame. One thing I need to make very clear is that Madara's Limbo clones, even as the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, have never displayed the ability to use jutsu. They have strictly used taijutsu, and the statement equal ability may imply more towards physical capabilities, so I won't be considering any possible.
I mean, that's fair. I got nothing to say against that. But at the same time, Like whenever he was fighting Naruto and Sasuke, he was not trying. But I understand like what he's saying, but he wasn't trying when he was fighting them.
Possible jutsu shenanigans from the Limbo clones unless he's used them already. I do think Madara's odds of winning increased drastically. Between the Limbo clones and the possible win condition through the human path's soul-stealing jutsu, he now has both a win condition and a harder toolkit to deal with Kaido's Unga Bunga fighting style. Some will say Madara can drop a meteor or two on Kaido or create a forest with giant flowers to force him to lose consciousness. But I don't think either of these options will work.
You don't think the flowers will
Madara
work?
can't use Tengai Shinsei because it's a jutsu that takes both the user and enemy out at the same time.
Madara can definitely use that. Hello? I mean, he literally has? Am I missing something? I mean, he was literally in the sky dropping meteors like crazy. Did he not see that? What?
Madara only used it because he was an Edo and could just regenerate. Even then, if he did use the jutsu, he would most likely take more damage than Kaido. If I use some calc,
He has Truth Seeker orbs? To just make a ball around him? And he quite literally did this. I'm confused. But I don't think it'll work because Kaido would just blow it up. I'm not that ignorant, but...
the size alone of the first meteor is about 15 kilometers in height and 12 kilometers in diameter using pixel scaling. Kaido's Flame Dragon Bagua, which is his strongest attack, was longer than Onigashima, which is 57 kilometers in diameter. As for the flowers, Kaido would probably find them annoying at first and blow them away with Blast Breath or with his Dragon Demolition Twister that was stated to be like a natural disaster and even generated tornadoes. Madara's best answer should be using the human path to rip Kaido's soul out since he still doesn't have many options to actually hurt Kaido long term. None of his jutsu I listed before should have the capability to break through his scales, and his full power...
I don't think you understand, like, his AP. I don't think he understands what... Because he's naming jutsus, but I don't think he knows that, like, your jutsu's based on your attack potency. How much energy you output in it. And if he's a 10-tail Jinchuriki, a 10-tail's perfect Jinchuriki, he is most definitely planetary. And he showed that Kaido wasn't planetary. I don't even gotta say much more. I mean, what the heck?
Should still be the perfect Susanoo. I also don't think the Limbo clone is as impossible to answer as some may believe it is. Kaido would more than likely realize that Madara is using a strange technique that he can't either sense or stop. His answer to everything might be Big Bonk, but Kaido isn't stupid. If he has Advanced Observation Haki active from that point forward, then he should be able to dodge the Limbo clone with ease. Just because he can't sense Limbo does not mean he can't see into the future and know when exactly he would be hit. He doesn't need to know how the technique works, just when it will hit. Not to mention, Madara would have to hold down Kaido somehow for long enough to rip out his soul. It's not an instant win if he gets a hold of it, as we saw with Naruto and B versus
You can
Nagato.
resist it, right?
Madara still doesn't have many options for when Kaido inevitably lands a hit, and even though he can heal with Hashirama cells, he also said that having them makes him fight more carelessly. I also want to add that Madara's healing factor is a bit strange. He can heal from wounds like when Sasuke stabbed him, but he was absorbing Nine-Tails chakra from a random shinobi's cloak, and he didn't start healing until afterwards. After he was comboed by the tailed beast.
I was about to say, are we on 10 tails or we're still in this version? Because we're on 10 tails. Oh, we're talking about 10 tails Madara. I'm pretty sure Broken just healed like instantly. You not see what Guy did to him? When Guy, I think he kicked off like a big chunk of his body. He just healed that like immediately. So that's a whole different thing. The 10 tails just amped his healing factor, but for like this specifically, then with that, I guess he's right about that.
Beasts and lost his arm, he also didn't seem to heal whatsoever from the combination of attacks. He was hard blitzed by KCM2 Naruto, and I don't believe this version of Naruto is even remotely as fast as Kaido.
How fast
Currently
Kaido
in the
is?
manga, Gear 5 Luffy has fought multiple times with Kizaru, who is made of light and has been actively trying to complete his orders of killing Vegapunk. Against Gear 4 Snake...
Wait, go back. FTO plus? I can't see shit. Okay.
Trying to complete his orders of killing Vegapunk. Against Gear 4 Snake Man Luffy, Kizaru showed that acceleration is power and further increased his speed beyond the initial light speed that his Devil Fruit grants. He also blitz dodged one of Luffy's Snake Man jet culverines that should be faster than the beams of light shot by Pacifista. Kizaru hard blitzed Snake Man Luffy and later got grabbed by Gear 5 Luffy and got hard yeeted out of Egghead's top dome. He could turn into light before hitting the ocean and seemingly reappeared in front of Luffy at the speed of light. Their entire fight is a testament to how fast Luffy is at this point in the story, and he is only going to get more impressive feats.
Right.
Luffy even intercepted a beam shot at Vegapunk where his starting position was above and away from the lab, and Kizaru shot the laser before Luffy moved. He intercepts the beam without any prior movement shown. These are FTL feats, and Gear 5 Luffy got hard blitzed by Kaido thrice. Once when his head...
Okay, but that's also different. I mean, he literally just unlocked that form. He wasn't, like, even close to even able to use it efficiently how he did in Egghead. So, that's kind of like not really like the same, if that makes sense. And also, if you want to get technical with it, you can say that Naruto is FTL plus as well. I mean, the first arc, Land of Waves, you fought Haku. And yes, I'm aware that Haku was able to bounce the mirrors at light speed, but... And Naruto reacted to that? I'm not saying that Naruto was light speed. But if you're able to react to somebody and track somebody moving light speed... I'm just saying. First arc of Naruto, by the way. Don't forget that.
Head was smashed through the roof. The second time when Kaido hit him
It
from
just
behind the
upscales from
head
there.
after he reactivated Gear 5th. And finally when he got hit with one of the most savage series of consecutive bonks I have ever seen. All of this is to say, OS Madara more than likely won't win. If he uses Chibaku Tensei, Kaido turns into a 2-kilometer long dragon and bursts through just like Eight Tails Kurama.
Right.
His Susanoo doesn't get any new attacks or abilities. The Wood Dragon Jutsu suppresses chakra, which Kaido doesn't have, and his dragon form is simply bigger. He has to hold down Kaido and also make physical contact to rip out his soul, and nothing is stopping Kaido from swatting him away with faster reaction speed. The Limbo clone may land some hits at first, but eventually Kaido may just dodge it with Future Sight. It has to return to Madara. It can't be used for a while after that, as stated by Sasuke, and I don't believe that it's physically strong enough to wrestle down Kaido when he's 23 feet tall. As for the Wood Clone Susanoo,
I don't think height matters. I mean, Naruto was able to pick up Kurama, slam him on his back for just being in Sage mode. Even though I think that dude, Kyle's definitely much thicker and heavier. But he can definitely pick him up just because he's bigger doesn't mean anything. Like, at all. I don't know what that's supposed to even mean in the first place.
they are weaker than the perfect Susanoo, and Tsunade was able to knock them down, so I don't think they would be able to overwhelm Kaido. Unless you have a hyper-specific scenario where Madara uses Wood Clone, Susanoo, Limbo, and tries to Human Path Kaido all at the same time. He also has limited chakra reserves, and in personality, he does enjoy his fights.
Okay. Limited, yes. But he has borderline an infinite amount of chakra. You know how much chakra Naruto has? Yeah, the 10 tails alone is chakra the size of a small planet or a moon. That's literally what they showed. No, they literally said small planet. I can show the panel if you guys don't believe me. His chakra was compared, I think they said the size of a small planet. And they showed a diagram of Earth. And then right next to it was like this big old chunk of chakra that was all the 10 tails. And he's a Jinchuriki. On top of that, Madara also has a large chakra pool in the first place. So, it ain't running out. anytime soon.
So he wouldn't immediately go for the kill. Madara is arrogant and likes to test his opponent's strength.
That's very
Kaido
true.
may enjoy a fight, but only if his opponent doesn't go down, and he always tries to kill his opponents, or at least puts them down with his first few attacks. Kaido is hard blitzing anything this version of Madara does, and if I'm going to be honest, Ten Tails Madara still isn't faster than him.
I thought he was talking about Ten Tails Madara this entire time. Bruh. Okay,
Speaking of Ten Tails Madara, this is the final version we will use for the versus battle.
Now
I know I said Kaido is still faster, but this is much more complicated than a simple blitz and kill. This final version of Madara gets the following.
I thought he was talking about this one the entire time, bruh. I'm sorry, Mr. Elion. I apologize.
Jutsu. It may be less overall, but Madara's added arsenal in addition to the near limitless chakra he gains from the Ten Tails makes him an absolute monster. As the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails, Madara gains a nearly immortal body capable of regenerating from an attack.
See, that's what I was talking about, was this right here. This is what I was talking about.
Powerful as Night Guy, which not only could bend space, but nearly killed him, leaving half of his body destroyed and melting. His durability increases to absurd amounts, being capable of withstanding Sekizo, which is a consecutive series of punches that use blasts of air to attack the target, and one of those landed directly on him, with the worst outcome being him bleeding from his mouth. Although Naruto...
Huh? Huh?
That use blasts of air to attack the target, and one of those landed directly on him.
No, that's wrong. You tried to play me, boy! That is just blatantly wrong. No. See, what happened here was he missed out. Asakizo did not cause that to happen. Asakizo, like I said, it's the air punches. This right here,
air to attack the target, and one of those landed.
This right here was just a normal. It was a punch from him getting launched towards him, and he had help from everybody else to even land in the first place. But that was not from Asakizo, as you can clearly see. So that part is wrong.
Directly on him.
What the heck?
With the worst outcome being him bleeding from his mouth. Although Naruto was able to cut him completely in half with a lava-style Rasen Shuriken, he's virtually immune to ninjutsu, so only senjutsu and taijutsu can be used against him.
Right.
Taijutsu is physical damage and martial arts. I do think Kaido matches up against him quite well because he mostly goes for physical attacks, which are also coded in Haki, and his blast breath and dragon demolition slashes aren't ninjutsu, so they should be effective.
Yeah.
That's not to say this fight will be easy for him. Madara's speed should be much higher thanks to the addition of Six Paths Senjutsu, which not only increases his physical parameters, but also gives him awareness of his surroundings. I wouldn't say it's as good as Future Sight, but it's much better precognition than base Sage Mode. Through my research, I found that Madara's speed should be at least FTL due to some scaling with Six Paths Naruto,
I was about to say, bro, it better be.
and Might Guy. His fastest jutsu, at least quantifiably, should be the Light Fang Jutsu, which is stated to cut all things at the speed of light. I'm going to reiterate that Kaido should be faster than this attack due to speed scaling from Gear 5 Luffy, and my research did put him at approximately FTL+. In other words, he is faster than Ten Tails Madara, but the difference shouldn't be so massive that Madara can't do anything. What makes this fight complicated above all else is Madara gets unquantifiably more powerful as his fights progressed.
Right.
He absorbed the God Tree, gained a second Rinnegan, and even a third eye with his Rinne Sharingan.
I wanted to see this third eye, bro. The two Rinnegans in Sharingan versus Naruto and Sasuke, they were gonna lose. I mean, they were so cooked. If Kaido didn't hop in there, because she doesn't know how to fight, but like, bruh, that would have been crazy to see.
Each of these boosts his strength by an amount that I'm not too sure of, and there isn't much information out there besides his fights. Also, I can't say for certain if his durability or speed increased any further since he did get blitzed by Sasuke and was severed in half after absorbing the God Tree. After getting his other Rinnegan back, he gained the ability to now create 4 more Limbo clones, but Naruto's Shadow clones were able to keep them in check with Taijutsu alone. Naruto and Sasuke had an answer for almost everything he did. Madara's goal was to activate the infinite Tsukuyomi, so all he needed was time, but everything he threw at those two was dealt with. I know there's this idea in the Naruto community that Madara would have won if he wasn't double-crossed by Black Zetsu, but I just don't see it.
How?
He got one shot by Naruto and Sasuke twice.
Bro, you literally just showed pre-God Tree absorption. Brother, what? Of course is... Yo, Elliot, that doesn't even make sense. The version we're talking about... Maybe I'm tweaking. But...
Once each. He was literally severed in half twice, so if it wasn't for his near immortality, that would have been it. He didn't really land any attack on either of them besides a Limbo clone knocking Naruto away, and even after multiple power-ups, he was still only competing with them. We never got to see his full power after he unlocked the Rin Sharingan, so I can't really include that version. The best I can give Ten Tails Madara is the second Rinnegan and the God Tree, but he only really gets more Limbo clones and arguably more chakra. So, does Kaido win? Yes and no, but mostly no. This part of the fight is the entire reason why I put a disclaimer at the start of the video. The simple fact is, Kaido has no way to counter Infinite Tsukuyomi once it's activated. He loses on the spot. It doesn't matter at what point in the fight Madara chooses to do this, once he decides to activate the Infinite Tsukuyomi and succeeds, the fight is over. Kaido doesn't know about the attack, and would only have a chance to stop it if Future Sight is already active. I do think if Kaido sees into the future, he could stop Madara since he is faster and Madara needs to get close enough to the moon and activate the jutsu. Horizon Meteor isn't a factor since it only slowed down Naruto and Sasuke because there were people nearby they had to save. Kaido can just fly straight to Madara the same way he moved towards Luffy when he dodged the omnidirectional Gum Gum Hydra and dodged the 5 Limbo clones as they tried to stop him. But that's more or less wishful thinking. Ultimately, you can argue Madara just sends a ton of Wood Clone Susanoo, Limbo clones, and just spams Kaido with Jutsu so he can get enough time to activate the Infinite Tsukuyomi. If you don't include Infinite Tsukuyomi or Madara doesn't immediately use it, then the fight is much more interesting. For starters, Truth-Seeking Orbs. TSO are the application of every chakra nature at once and are even more complex versions of particle style that can destroy anything they touch. They are also malleable so they can change size and shape to fit whatever situation the user makes.
Listen up. Some One Piece fans are in strict denial. They're like, whoa, it doesn't erase you because it only nullifies ninjutsu. No, buddy. It literally says it does that. It nullifies ninjutsu and it erases. I will pull up the panel if you don't believe me. Tobirama quite literally said that.
Fit. Whether or not they destroy something seems to be up to the user since there are moments where they do touch non-six path users and nothing happens. Madara seems to change the shape.
That's if they decide to use I think it's called yin release or yang release. Like they're in control of how they use it. Wait a second, my dog wants to get down. Hold up, I'm kind of thick, so don't say nothing. My cheeks. All right, come on. All right, let's get back into it. Yo, the video's almost over. I'm surprised. We've been at this for so long. It's been like an hour, like guaranteed. My throat hurts. I'll put my glasses on. I don't need these. All right.
Less than Obito since he doesn't do it too often, besides creating shields or a new staff. Now, the TSO can be interacted with. They can be destroyed and they don't regenerate.
Facts.
Naruto progressively had less and less TSO as his battles...
I would say once they're broken, you can't regenerate them. You probably have to make new ones, but I don't know how the hell you even make new ones. I'll be honest with you. I know it takes like a large amount of chakra, but once again, you can't even quantify it, and they probably don't know how to make them in the first place. So yeah, once they're broken, they're gone.
with Madara, Kaguya, and Sasuke progressed. Sasuke could even destroy them with Susanoo arrows, and that wasn't his full power. Madara also never shows the capability to recreate TSO.
Right.
Not to mention, they seem to be capable of breaking if enough physical force is applied, and one of Guy's Sekizo punches were enough to force Madara's body.
Oh yeah, he's saying it himself. Wait, I'm sorry. He's gonna say it. Never mind.
Physical force is applied, and one of Guy's Sekizo punches were enough to force Madara's body through a TSO barrier. Kaido can just deal with them through the application of advanced Conqueror's Haki, since he can hit them without making physical contact like when he clashed with Luffy. As for whether or not his attacks are as strong as Zekizo, look at it this way. He and Big Mom performed the Conquest of the Sea attack, an advanced Conqueror's Haki attack that would have dealt devastating damage to Luffy, Zoro, Law, Kid, and Killer. Zoro was only able to withstand the attack for less than a second, and it would have killed him if Law didn't move them all out of the way with his rune. This may have been a combined attack, but Kaido should still be able to replicate a similar technique on his own without Big Mom and with about half of its strength. Sekizo is just a blast of air from a punch. Conquest of the Sea is a blast of air imbued with Conqueror's Haki. I'll leave it up to you guys to decide whether or not they are at least relative, but as far as I'm concerned, Conquest of the Sea is by far one of the strongest attacks in the verse, and the worst generation couldn't have dodged it without the split second Zoro gave them to teleport out of the way. Half of its power came from Kaido, so I'm of the opinion that Kaido could at least deal with the TSO by knocking them away with advanced Conqueror's Haki. As for speed, the TSO don't seem to be as fast as Madara. When Guy tried to hit Madara with a direct Sekizo punch, Madara threw 3 TSOs at him, and before they made contact, Rock Lee and Minato were able to intercept the orbs and teleport away before the hit. Lee had the 6th gate active at the time, so this kunai feat shouldn't be close to light speed, and even if it was, it would still mean the TSO are slower than Kaido. As for the 5 Limbo clones, they would definitely cause a problem for Kaido. The sheer magnitude of jutsu Madara should be capable of throwing at Kaido in conjunction with the Limbo clones may cause Kaido to actually take decent damage.
It's kind of
under
like
the assumption that through all of these power-ups allow Madara to at least hurt Kaido with taijutsu, and the TSO can potentially deal either massive damage or straight up kill Kaido. I do think that if Madara and Kaido both try to enjoy the fight, it's a lot closer than you might think, considering Kaido does outstat Madara in basically every regard. But Madara has more hacks abilities and much more techniques at his disposal. I don't believe Kaido gets overwhelmed, and in fact, I haven't even mentioned his drunken dragon Bagua. If Kaido enjoys a fight enough, he will get drunk. When that happens, he becomes even more dangerous than when he's sober and an absolute demon. Kaido is completely unpredictable while in this state, since his mood rapidly changes and the attacks he performs and the transformation he's in varies between these states. The difference in strength is so massive that Kaido forced Luffy to activate Gear 4, which multiplied his strength and speed several times, and he was outperforming nearly everything Luffy did, even with Future Sight active. I don't think Madara would be able to completely deal with the drunken Bagua, since Kaido's final state turns him into a bloodthirsty drunk that hard blitzed Gear 4 Luffy mid-attack, and all of this is before Gear 5th. For this last section, I'll just list a couple of final points and questions because, as I said, depending on what information you choose to accept, the outcome changes. Do you think Madara can overwhelm Kaido with enough jutsu that can't really hurt him or aren't fast enough to land even if they can? If Kaido has Future Sight active, I don't think Madara...
1 second. I'm sorry. Yeah. Alright. Do you think Madara can overwhelm Kaido with enough jutsu that can't really hurt him? Yeah. I mean, what the hell? His AP's higher. I don't know why I wouldn't.
Madara is likely to put him in a position where either he can rip out his soul or tag him with multiple TSO. Infinite Tsukuyomi is his most consistent win condition. You'd have to plug a controller into him otherwise. Do you think Kaido can kill Ten Tails Madara? Madara is near...
Can he kill him? I'm just saying this real quick. Madara has like, because one thing they didn't keep him account for is like Madara is like battle IQ. I mean, it's much higher than Kaido's. Like if he was playing Dead by Daylight, he could survive for a very long time. But for not, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. How the hell is gonna keep him down forever? I don't know. I mean, one Thunder Balga is not gonna kill Madara. Like at all. I don't think he even can die.
Immortal. He can be sliced in half and simply regenerate. Kaido should be faster and stronger, but he can't seal Madara, and the only attack that nearly killed him was the Night Guy, so the only way one could argue Kaido wins is if his attacks scale above Night Guy. He could potentially stop Infinite Tsukuyomi, but he would need to have Future Sight active and beeline it to Madara while also dodging Limbo clones. In other words, you'd have to plug a controller into him. What about the perfect Susanoo? Madara never used it while he was a Jinchuriki.
Well, actually, he used it in Storm 4, the game. He used it while he was Tendo Jinchuriki. And Storm games, they are considered canon with canon material. So I mean, did he use it in the anime? No. But could he use it? Yes. You know what I mean? But for the sake of this, I'm going to say no, he can't. But I'm not against saying that he can use it. Because in reality, why can't he? I mean, he used it with the Renegon already. Like, just the Renegon. I don't see why he can't use it. Like, there was no reason that he can't use it. Because when he first came back as an Edo, he had Renegon, and he still used Susanoo. So there's no reason why he can't.
Whether or not it would gain wings or scale to Sasuke Susanoo, which can slash meteors in half, it doesn't matter. One Piece characters have been capable of slashing meteors and other large structures since before Kaido was introduced. The fight was already complicated enough, and I didn't want to think up a hypothetical 10-tailed Susanoo. Can Kaido hit harder than Night Guy? If I go by some calcs that I found while researching this video, Luffy's Bajorang gun calced to be over 1 Zetaton in terms of AP. That is a small planetary feat.
What's a Zetaton?
Go by this calc, then Kaido's Flame Dragon Bagua, which was comparable since it hard struggled with the Bajorang gun, should be capable of one-shotting Madara. The highest AP I could find for Might Guy was much higher than Moon level. So going by this, Kaido's Flame Dragon Bagua should have enough AP to kill.
Wait, what? Right. I've told you guys this before. I don't really care for calcs because there's no way to like actually quantify it. But if you guys want to use this, go ahead.
Kill Madara. Guy did bend space, but every single piece of information and calculation that I can find on the matter calcs him at most at light speed, and Kaido is faster than that. The Flame Dragon Bagua is also heat-based, so Madara should completely melt, and there's no way for me to say if Madara could tank the attack better after absorbing the God Tree and getting a second Renegon. Luffy's Bajorang gun being small planetary also makes sense if you consider that the One Piece world is absolutely gigantic. What? I need to make it clear that the One Piece...
I don't think you understand the like AP and DC values. What does it got to do with the size of the world? What? That doesn't make sense. Wait, go back.
Is also heat-based, so Madara should completely melt, and there's no way for me to say if Madara could tank the attack better after absorbing the God Tree and getting a second Renegon. Luffy's Bajorang gun being small planetary also makes sense if you consider that...
That doesn't make sense. I know, like, you couldn't say the planet's bigger, right? But what does it got to do with anything? And even if that was the case, right, you're disregarding the fact that the 10 Tails itself, chakra-wise, is similar to a small planet. And if he has that in him, that makes him small planetary by just having the basic, like, 10 Tails inside of him. The God Tree, as well, that's just literally planetary. But I mean, that doesn't make sense.
One Piece world is absolutely gigantic. I need to make it clear that the One Piece world is likely multiple times larger than Earth.
Stop.
There isn't an exact scale for how much larger it is, however, Marco stated you could start counting islands and not finish till you're past 10 or 20 million. And for reference, our planet has about 900,000 islands. There are also...
I hate that statement right there that people use. Because you gotta put into account that we have a bunch of like main large continents that the One Piece world doesn't have. Right? Because for example, if you were to break up all the continents we have currently into islands, that shit would be much higher than 900,000. That's why I have like problem when people use this, which I don't have like a too big a problem, but some people that say like, oh well, because of this, that means it's, you know, it's the size of Jupiter. Huh? But I'm a fan of it being bigger than Earth, right? But to say like it's that much bigger, okay, at that rate you lost me, buddy. But let's
reference, our planet has about 900,000 islands. There are also some different calculations that put islands like Alabasta anywhere around double the size of Russia and bigger than Africa. For reference, in all of the images of the Grand Line, Alabasta isn't a massive island in comparison to many others. The globe in the Tree of Knowledge on Ohara has the 6 moons, with one moon having a smaller celestial body in its orbit. The One Piece world also does have 4 seasons and likely has 24-hour days and 365 days a year. I understand that some may say that if this were the case, then there would be a ton of ramifications. Oda likely never considered the implications or ramifications of some of these statements, but if it's taken into consideration, then the One Piece planet is absolutely massive, and I will repeat myself. This is fiction. It can be as big as it needs to be, and it can still work like how our planet works. That being said, the One Piece world is at least twice as big as ours and easily over 10 times larger if you include some pixel measurements for calcs. If Infinite Tsukuyomi isn't a factor, could Kaido win? Yes, but only if you believe that at least the Flame Dragon Bagua is stronger than Night Guy.
Why do they keep using Night Guy? I don't get that. When he got hit by things by stronger people. Why does he keep saying my guy? What the hell? Bro, Billy, stop it.
Kaido versus Madara. The research alone for this fight was kind of overwhelming, but I wouldn't mind doing it again if you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, then I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe, since a lot went into the making of this video. Thank you all so much for watching.
Mr. Elion, that was a good video. That was a great video. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys like it? Yeah, no, maybe so. I think it was a pretty good video. Yeah, no. So the thing with Planetary, right? Joey Joestar, he's talking about AP, as in like the energy behind like a hit. That's why he brought up the size of the One Piece planet. I was like, what's it got to do with anything? You know what I mean? Gravity multipliers. All right, bruh. You said most of the world's underwater? Yeah. That facts? Yeah, I know it's contents of One Piece. Yeah, for sure. No, so Genjutsu, the Infinite Tsukuyomi, it works on people without chakra. Because the first people on Earth, they didn't have chakra. If that makes sense. And that's why there was like a whole chakra plague killing people, because they shouldn't be having chakra in the first place. So what's going to continue to sink? Oh, okay, I got you. You said Kaido is equal to 10 Tails Obito. Final answer. Naruto does not beat Kaido. I mean, Naruto quite literally does beat Kaido. And if you're talking about Boruto Naruto, yeah, he most definitely beats Kaido. And that one's not close at all. Boruto, not. I don't ever want to use Boruto characters in general, because scaling of Boruto literally makes no sense. I mean, they pulled a Dragon Ball with that one, so that's why I ignore it. I never use that like ever. Unless, like, just for the fun of it, but I usually never, ever use Boruto Naruto. Because that shit is off the scale. I mean, like, bruh. I won't get into that. Naruto's not beat Kaido. How do you not think Naruto doesn't beat Kaido? Answer that for me. You said Gear 5 is KCM 2 Naruto level? Okay, no, yeah. Okay, now that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, just because the planet's bigger doesn't mean the mountain's bigger. There can be like Everest-sized mountains in Jupiter. Just because Jupiter's a bigger planet doesn't mean that it's gonna be automatically a bigger mountain. Nah, that made no sense. I'm sorry. Sasuke got hurt by regular kunai. Weapon skill to your AP. And it was also stated in Naruto to be the case as well. So what did Naruto have for that Flame Dragon mode? His Chroma avatar? I'm confused. Also, Naruto has Duraneg as well. I don't think his skill is gonna really matter. But with that being, I know it would. Actually, if that man gets spammed by Rasen Shuriken Tail Beast Bombs, he's cooked. I'm sorry. He's so getting cooked, especially by a boil release. It's over. I mean, what, bro? He's gonna get destroyed. And he doesn't have regen to like stand. No, he's cooked. Because the only reason why Kaguya's keep getting back up because she can't die. Kaguya's literally immortal.